Hello everybody and welcome back to another Magic the Gathering Arena video. So today I wanted to have another look at Azorius soldiers, utilising a couple of new cards from the Phyrexia All-is-One set, one of which being the Phyrexian Vindicator. This is the 4-white 5/5 flyer. If damage would be dealt to Phyrexian Vindicator to prevent that damage, when damage is prevented, it deals that much damage to any other target. So, not a soldier, obviously, but a 5/5 flyer actually can be what you need to get the soldiers deck popping if you don't have Harbin, Vanguard, Aviator around. Having that big flyer that can also block their big flying things or anything if you want to leave it in defense, or it can finish off the game for you by attacking, is very nice. And we're running 2 Ossification, which is enchant based at control. When it enters the battlefield, exile target creature or planeswalker. So creatures or planeswalkers can be trapped under this, which is very, very nice. The rest of the soldiers deck looks like a soldiers deck. So we're down to 1 Yotian Frontliner to make room for the Ossifications. Some people would run more of these. I personally am not a huge fan of this card, especially because there's still quite a lot of graveyard chest passes and the like around, and if you remove the Unearth from this, it isn't very good at all. 4 Recruitment Officer, on the other hand, is a very good card. 2 1-for-1 that can then pull you more soldiers out of your deck if you flood out. 3 Resolute Reinforcements for those. So the idea with the Resolute Reinforcements is that we can surprisingly, or surprise our opponent, build up our number of soldiers to 5 at flash speed, to be able to then get them all to fly over and end games using Harbin's ability, which is whenever you attack with 5 or more soldiers, creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain flying until end of turn. So if we had, for example, 2 soldiers on the battlefield and 2 mana open, we could flash in the Resolute Reinforcements at the end of our opponent's turn. We can then play Harbin, has 3 soldiers, so you need to be able to attack with all 5, flash these in, and then play the Harbin, and then the 5 soldiers that you have on the battlefield will be flying. 3 Thalias, because the only spells that we have are Ossification, the only non-creature spells, and that's cheap enough anyway that we don't mind if we accidentally tax ourselves. Taxing things like Invoke Despair, taxing things like Gix's Command or Depopulate can be crucial to winning games, hence why we're running Thalia. 4 Valiant Veteran, needs no introduction. A 2-costing Lord is very nice. 2 Dennick can be useful in protecting the R1 frontliner in the graveyard from graveyard trespassers, but it can also stop various reanimation strategies that are around. 4 Brutal Cathar is our main source of removal, so we've got 6 in total, which for an aggressive creature deck is about the right number, I would say. You don't want to build loads of removal into a creature sort of aggro based deck, because then you won't draw enough aggro to actually finish off your opponent. The nice thing about Cathar is obviously it adds you a creature to the board you can attack with, as well as being a removal spell, despite being fragile for that benefit. But once it flips to Brute, that can be very nice, but bear in mind it's not a soldier anymore. 3 Skystrike Officers, so these let us draw more cards, which is very handy, except if the opponent has a Shieldred down, and also lets us create more soldier artifact creature tokens. 4 Siege Veterans, 2/2 lets us grow our creatures and gives us some board wipe protection against Wrath type spells, so Depopulate, Gix's Command, things like that will leave us behind a bunch of tokens that we can then put more tokens on using the dead Valiant Veteran's ability or whatever. And we're then running 2 Myrel, Shield of Argive, which is a 4-costing 3/4 legendary human soldier. During your turn, your opponents can't cast spells or activate abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments, which is very nice against things like Fable. They can't clone stuff with their reflection in your turn. And when Myrel, Shield of Argive attacks, create X/1/1 colourless soldier artifact creature tokens, where X is the number of soldiers you control. So obviously when playing Myrel, it's important to remember you want to drop all your creatures down on the battlefield before you attack, which is sort of counter to a normal play pattern. Obviously normally you would play them in your second main phase to hide them as long as possible from the opponent. It's important to remember not to do that with Myrel around, and with Harbin around, in fairness. But otherwise, that is the deck. What I'm going to do today is play in Mythic. I literally just turned Mythic. I got there using this deck, had a storm of a run up through Diamonds, something like 9-1 or 10-1, and we're just going to see how the deck performs once we reach Mythic. Let's have a go. Okay. Soldiers, assemble. Sino. So soldiers got me all this way. Let's see if they can get me a little further. We could play this first, but I think playing a planes into the Recruitment Officer seems better. Turn 1. Evolve Sleeper. See if they want to trade. What do you think about a trade, Mr. Sino? Taken. Here is another one. Let's see what it thinks about this trade. Probably won't want that one. We can always ossify this, but at the moment we probably save this for a Sheldred, as I'm guessing, or a Phyrexian Obliterator. That feels like where we're going. A nasty 4-drop creature, so we'll hold this for now. Hold this for now. No. Excuse me. Just play with his Gix sleeves whilst we wait. I can play with my own sleeves now. I've got these ones. Another shadow and a sleeper. Okay. This could be a spirit. So let us ossify this one. Can't take damage from them forever. And Dennick. Okay. Using that on Dennick is quite nice. Interesting that they're still attacking. Down to 5, and we could put 2 more 3/3s in as things stand. So even if this is a Sheldred, which it isn't, it's a Liliana.
Nobody knows Dominaria's shadows like me.
I think it's worth playing this now rather than as a combat trick, because sacrificing this token is much more acceptable than the Recruitment Officer, because this can get us more cards next turn. We still have lethal on board. Cut down won't do it with black, so yeah. Sweet. Let's try again. Alright. Soldiers round 2 against Smill. So 96 is where we came in this time round. 2 blues isn't going to cut it. Probably need fewer islands in this deck actually. Yeah. Start with this one. Yeah, look, we've got another island. How many islands are in this deck? 3. It's too many. This could be cut down or destroyed, but got to start playing something. No destroy used. Interesting, because they had priority. I wonder why not. Because they want to Liliana it. Fair enough.
No more distractions. Let's make sacrifices must be made.
So Siege Veteran, probably still destroy around in this hand. Yeah.
I'm tired.
I think we'll throw away Brutal Cathar because it's the least useful in a black matchup. Get rid of Liliana. So this is a reanimate, is it? We don't actually have the Sun Gold Sentinel in this deck. So that could be a problem. Fight rigging. That's a problem too, especially if they're running Toxrels. playing? Obviously a hard choice. Come on, Smell. There we go. Let's see what you got. Show the world. Polluted Contaminator. So, I guess we'll decline at the moment. That isn't ideal. It's going to get very hairy very quickly. 12 damage. Puts us on 1. I think having that back is probably a good game. Just didn't get off the starting blocks in that game. But oh well. Let's go again. Okay. I sorted our island ratio out, so we're down to 1 island in the deck now, which even may be too many, but we'll play with the 1. And 1 Otawara. So we can start with the Beachhead and run the play with a nice curve this game, so I'm expecting this to go better, even if we are against mono red, which our opponent's lightning bolt sleeves would lead us to believe. Reveal this one, then play it. The opponent knows what they're against on turn 1. It is the sort of disadvantage of that, but it's not the end of the world. Swift Spear. You should attack, but they might not. Yeah. Actually drawn the full white spell again. Okay. That's probably good against red though. It's very nice against red, even if we get it on turn 5 or later. Maybe some kind of burn for the veteran. No, just felled on. Well, we obviously won't block that. So this will have to put on a Phyrexian, I think. Who's the beatdown now, mono red? Who is the beatdown now? It's definitely us. Unless you've got some good removal in that hand. Have to remove that veteran, then get in, and then it could be a closer fight. Well, I'll block the Feldon, because trading that plus a spell is worth the veteran, I would say. Yeah, that is worth it. But you get to look at the top 3. Land, land, land. That's what we like to see. So we can't play this turn anyway, so we'll just drop the Harbin. Put the opponent down to 5. Which gives them a pretty nasty looking board state. We've got 10 damage on board, we only need to do 5. 2 cards in our hand. Yeah. Too quick. They struggled a little bit with the red deck, but that's to be expected on the draw against soldiers. Pretty convincing. Queong. Yeah. We just need 1 more land, but got a couple of turns to get it. Nope, we don't need to reveal anything since we can't play anything with that, and I don't really think bluffing has much advantage on turn 1 when you're running the soldiers land. Could be wrong. Do we play this now? Because they've only got 1 blue. So getting a couple of creatures down it's probably a good thing to do. When I wouldn't, obviously, I'd normally flash this in, but okay, I thought it was mono blue. That is unfortunate that we did not draw a land. Can happen in 2 times 40%. 1 in 4 or so. Still no land. Now it's getting a bit more ridiculous. And we'll end turn. We have already done 7 damage. A third of our opponent's health. And they've got white in here as well. Esper Planeswalkers maybe, so we're probably expecting a depopulate or a farewell at some point. Would be my guess. So getting a veteran down would be handy. I mean, it doesn't protect against farewell, but it does against a depopulate. They haven't got Wandering Emperor mana, so could be countering, but then they're taking 5. Yeah, a countering and drawing, but meh, it's not the end of the world for us. We've got another one in our hand. Okay, I have to get rid of this. They've taken 4. They didn't draw though, which is good. That is another white source. Come on, just give me the lands we need. That is not a land. Can this resolve? No. But we're getting in for 4. You never know. This lack of lands could almost be a blessing, because if we do get board wiped, it's only going to cost us fewer, creatures. And if they try and go for the blocker strategy, we're sorted, like playing a Sheldred or something. Could be what we see. Obviously they can crew Bankbuster if they haven't tapped it. No. Okay. So there could be obviously any counters here. If we draw a land, we'll play the Veteran, because that would give us lethal. We'll play it anyway, since we have a spare, but we just don't have mana for the counter spell now. It would have mattered. Opponent on 1. I mean, if we could have played Myrel, this would be amazing. This deck of counter spells would be useless, but we haven't got there, unfortunately. So, are you going to board wipe us, or you've got only 1 life left, my friend? Nope. That was like, our deck didn't do what it was supposed to, but I don't think theirs did either. Putting those 2 creatures down on turn 1, turn 2 even, really helped against that matchup. And up to 97. Alright. Sub on. 97% as well. Good clean matchup on the draw. Less exciting, but it's not a bad hand on the draw. Double Harbin is probably fine. It's nice to have a spare Harbin, to be honest. Back across the same crap again. Let's play this so they can't play a Liliana. They can cut down, obviously, but c'est la vie. Go for the throat. Expensive, but effective. Let's play one of these, because if they can't remove it, 3 damage a turn is nice, and if they can, we've got another one for next turn, and we can flash in one of these to protect our Harbin against Invoke Despairs or whatever else might come our way. Gonna attack with the Bankbuster? Yeah, okay. So I guess we should Cathar, because an Invoke Despair will sack the Harbin, it'll be an easy choice. Liliana, same thing. They could have point removal for the Cathar, but you know, if they've got that, they'll always have that. Yeah, that's what we thought. Easy. So then we play this one, play this one, and then assuming they don't remove any of our creatures, we have 5 soldiers next turn. And maybe that'll happen, and maybe we'll top deck the Lord, the Valiant Veteran, to finish them off. You never know. Well, that shows they haven't got spot removal. So, hold on. 3, 7, 10. We're going to have 14 damage if we attack with everything. Let me just do that maths again, because everything gets +1/+1. So 3 + 4 is 7, +3 is 10, and these will be 2 2 2s, 14 damage. So we cannot win next turn, so we should block this, because we can't therefore attack with everything. So we'll probably just attack with Harbin. And we don't want ourselves to get too low. Okay, so that means we can do the Recruitment Officer. Just to see if we draw a Lord. We do. So let's attack with Harbin. We will play the Lord next turn. I was thinking I'd play it this turn, but obviously there's no real reason to. We can use Resolute Reinforcements. That'll give us 6 soldiers, so we can even block with 1. We managed to get it to Knight as well, which is a benefit. What the hell is this? I don't even know what this is. When another non-token creature you control dies, you may pay 2 life and exile it. If you do, create a token that's a copy, except it's 1/1 and has toxic 1. So when this dies, they can pay 2 life and get another Sheldred. But more importantly for them, that is a flying blocker, which they have just thrown away. If they attack with everything, we won't have 5 creatures. So if we block like this, that'd leave us with 5 creatures, but then we die to the Sheldred effect. So if we block like this, wait, 4 goes through. Yeah, let's try this, because this could give us the win. They can have their Bankbuster. We're on 4. We're now on 2. Oh, because the Brute is no longer a soldier, they don't get 1/1. Thankfully we still had enough damage, but I completely miscalculated that. And won anyway. Just those, you don't have to be good, you just have to be lucky. God, that was bad. Alright, I'll try and be better, I promise. But we're up to 98, so let's see if we can get into the numbers. We're on the draw again, but again, it's quite a good hand for the draw. Depends what we're against, but the Veteran gives us board wipe protection for the other 2 creatures and each other. And we've got a nice land set. Let's just do that and decline. So it looks like it could be mono black again, which we've done alright against so far, so I'm not too upset with it being mono black. Same start. We'll play the reinforcements. I wonder if this is a trespasser into a bankbuster attack. That would be the worst case, or a Gix even. That would be the worst case. Trespasser it is. Ye olde trespasser. So we're going to take the 4. Could obviously flash this in and block, but I'd rather flash in and then do the damage. We ultimately want to get to 5 soldiers, so we're still going to try and be the beatdown if we can. The 1/1 is a nice protection against Invoke Despair anyway. Okay, that's unfortunate, but not unexpected. And they attack with the Trespasser instead because there's something to exile. Makes it difficult to be the beatdown. So let's go Dennick. That'll slow Trespasser up. They're going to draw, yeah. And then Harbin. Now we can use the Otawara to bounce for when that Sheldred or something else nasty comes in. Okay, that is unfortunate. Gix's command is pretty much anti-soldier technology at its best. The problem is, you need to have drawn the Valiant Veterans, the Lords, to have buffed your creatures above 2 power to have a chance against that. Which unfortunately we hadn't done. Yeah. GG. The Gix's command on cue defeated us. Okay. Playing against number 1, 6, 2, 1. We'll keep. Since we've got this, we're sort of going for the fast approach rather than the slow approach. Got 2 1-drops in case we don't draw another untapped land. We do have an untapped land, so that's good. So we'll probably use the reinforcements. Maybe a Thunderdog we're going to see. Edict. Okay. We'll sacrifice this 1/1 instead of our 2/1. And a Cathar is nice. Put some pressure on with the Siege Veteran. Hopefully they'll go for a blocker. They do. And we've got this to discard, which is pretty good. Now obviously they can remove the Cathar and exile the Frontliner. And that is worst case. But they're still getting a big hit, and we have got another removal spell.
No more distractions. Let's make this quick.
That's not going to help you all that much.
I've always hated crowds.
Because this comes in. Take that out of cut down range, but I think we're good anyway, aren't we? Yeah. Enough damage anyway. That's how it's supposed to go against mono black. What is with this meta in Mythic? It's all black. It's all mono black. And yet, I would say it's fair. This is our one island. It's fairly well accepted that white is the best colour in this standard, I would say. Maybe that's just me who thinks that. This card is just so good. For example, right here. Yeah. Bye-bye. Fable, perfect for Cathar. Nothing for them to gain by killing the Cathar at least. 1 land in the bin. And I know our opponent still has the reflection, which is not ideal, but There's Ossify Sheldred, can't really have that hanging around. Obviously could have played Siege Veteran, but not with the Sheldred there really. If they've got another one that sucks, but... Okay, killing that, that's interesting. I would like a land at some point deck. Only 3 in the top 12 isn't the idealist. Now we've just got to hope they haven't got another Harvester in their hand to use with this. Appraiser's just as bad really. Double Appraiser trigger is going to find them a Harvester. Or whatever else that they could use to screw us. I mean, if they're throwing away Kaito and Fable, then we're in trouble. And that time they threw away Sheldred and a Braid. Oh my goodness, we're in trouble. Where are all my lands? I don't understand. So there's only one creature at the moment for them to we have to give them a Harvester or a Sheldred. Oh my god, it has to be Sheldred because we can't give them infinite destruction of our creatures. Ugh, this land situation has caused me some pain. Now they come. This is handy against Reflection, means they can't do it in our turn. They will probably be clever enough to know they should do it in response. Yep. Exile the Frontliner. Get more cards selection. It's bad, bad, bad for us. Throwing away more ideal cards. Oh dear. No. Oh, there are, yeah, because they've been throwing away creatures. They can keep drawing off the top. Alright, good game. Too many triggers of Corpse Appraiser is just not something we can fight through. Alright. 95%, maybe we've got more of a chance. It's a nice looking hand. We've got one of our Vindicators finally. It looks like mono black again. We haven't got blue for you, Harbin. If you would just wait a bit, we will get you employed as soon as possible. So this is an interesting looking mono black. We obviously can't block the shadow, and then they can flip the curtains. Quite a nice little combo they've got. Not combo, but like it's a bit of a pain to deal with. Interesting that they didn't flip the curtains. Should we get rid of them to make sure we keep our Vindicator? Maybe. We also can't get through them, and pulling out some removal onto the Cathar isn't the end of the world. We cannot attack because they have one mana spare. I do want to get these veterans down, but maybe I should have played a veteran then, in fairness. Can't do much about these shadows. More shadows. Vindicator it is. Unfortunately, there's removal for the Vindicator. No, we're taking 7, or 6 if they don't pump one. Don't know why they wouldn't pump one. Could play this on Harbin. Sadly, the veterans' token creation isn't going to go well for us because of the exiling effects. We might have to block here. If our opponent... Oh, they're not going to attack. So, another veteran. We might as well play this. Because we do have to draw removal. But we're not going to be able to take any damage from the shadows. Or from Sheldred. Okay. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. In fact, do we block like this? Because giving them the curtains back isn't a big deal. Maybe it is. Well, we might be able to... yeah, we'll block like this. They have got pretty much perfect, I mean, they're one-off perfect removal, because they can make that shadow a 4. Oh, they can do the other ones for 3. Let's draw. That isn't going to save us, which means we're dead. Ah, Bloomin' Mono Black against creature decks is tough. It is tough, but it's... I think we're still evenish. Okay. Coffee Camel. Let me guess. Mono Black on the draw? We're on the draw. Surely not Mono Black. They've got these sleeves. It's not Mono Black. Every single deck we played against today has had black in it. That is a crazy stat in 10 games. This is the 10th game. I'm pretty sure they've all had black in them. Now, I won't guarantee that, but that's what it feels like. Yeah, we'll just let that through. Fable is a nice Cathar target. We've got tons of Cathars this time, so it should be good for us. We're going to need them. They've already got this combo going. Grixis, Grixis, Grixis. Throwing away lands. And they're playing another Fable. At least they're pain landing themselves. Can't let them get treasures, because then they have to keep using their red as pain land. No. I've always found that effect really weird. If you destroy it, the thing never gets exiled, so tokens survive. They've got a way out of the red being pain land now anyway. Hello? Alright. I've got to hope this works. I've got to take the Harvester because they've got another reflection coming and we don't have any more removal to hand. Good game. Oh, they got another Harvester anyway. Blimmin' hell. GG. Okay, so to have a quick look at the stats of this deck, played 32 games with it in 2 hours 13, which is obviously a pretty good rate to play at. It does have a 69% win rate over 32 games, which is pretty darn good. I mean, 69% over that many games is a decent score. 89% on the play and 51% on the draw is quite telling. It is an aggro creature deck, and those do tend to favour being on the play quite heavily, more so than even other decks. And what I would say that I noticed is, as you can see in the graph here, for Diamond, which is this climb here, we actually climbed very quickly. It took a little while once in Diamond 1, bouncing backwards and forwards, to get there. But in Mythic, it's kind of been a bit more 50-50, a bit up and down. So, you know, obviously these were the games on the video. There were some losses in there, and a lot of the time to like black or getting land screwed, but those things can happen, especially in best of one. Like, you have to be able to play with them, and that's why a win rate will never be that high in best of one over a lot of matches. But I still think it could compete in Mythic. I don't think it's one to avoid, but I do think it's not going to be as good a performer as it was at Diamond, just because there's a lot more people playing serious cards, trying to grind their Mythic rank up, which I'm not saying people aren't doing in Diamond, but I have noticed a slight difference just anecdotally in the games that I've played in both brackets. So, you know, looking at the matchups on the video, we saw there was an absolute ton of mono black around in Mythic. I have no idea why, but yeah, we're still winning 67% against mono black, which is nice. Winning in general against white, and then everything else we haven't really played very many games against, just 2 or 3. Losing against red apparently, but that's just like, if red gets under you, what can you do really? But nice to see this, that we're winning against the thing that's by far the most prevalent. But yeah, I think it needs a little bit of like maybe tweaking around some of the numbers of these cards. Maybe a couple more ossifications could be good against black, because, you know, as soon as there's a Sheldred or a Graveyard Trespasser down, not being able to remove those basically gums us up too much to the point where we can't win. Or maybe putting in some more of the Phyrexian Vindicators. I'm not sure. I need to have a little bit of think on how to improve it for Mythic, and the sort of based on the results and matches that we've played so far. But I've, you know, had a lot of fun playing it. It's always good fun to play a fast creature deck and to grind up the ladder quickly, which is what this did for me through Diamond. So if you want to get to Mythic, I recommend giving this one a go this month. Anyway, thank you very, very much for watching the video. I really do appreciate everyone who has subscribed over the past few weeks. I think we're at the highest number of subscribers I've ever had, which is wonderful news. So you know, my goal is going to be to try and keep the content regular, try and get those numbers growing. So that's my goal. So thank you to everyone who subscribed, thank you to everyone who watched this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.